Hello, I'm Mike McGee, Content Manager for Course Report. We help people find and choose the best courses for their career goals. Today, I'm talking with Mai Vang, a Flatiron School graduate who shifted from political science to software engineering. After finishing Flatiron's program in 2022, Mai has built a successful career and is now a software engineer at Maizeee, where she improves performance and develops scalable UI components. We'll hear her journey from political science to coding and how she's thriving in her tech career. Welcome.
Well, thank you for having me, Mike.
Excited to have you. Excited to have you. So let's jump in. What motivated you to change career paths and do a coding bootcamp?
Yeah, so it occurred back when I was working in the finance industry because shortly after I graduated from college, I found myself in the finance industry, working as in an accounting sector and then also in the financial analysis area as well. So I had this like moment of realization of quick and powerful like technology can be. I mean, you always hear it, but then I felt like I've never faced it, so I didn't know how powerful technology can be. So there was like a moment where I was buried in spreadsheets and manually double checking numbers for errors because during like in the finance world we call it month end where you have to get all your stuff completed to close out the month end before so we can work on the new month. So I was doing a lot of manual work, and I was talking to a friend of mine who was actually like a programmer themselves, and they stated to me that I could write a program that can help automate that process for me, and I can allocate my time towards something else. I was like, no way. But back then, I had to go ahead and Google it. So how to write a program. AI didn't exist yet, so I had to go back and try to figure out how to go ahead and get this program to help me do all the manual work so I can do something else instead. And from there, from writing that program and from being able to see like the efficiency of it and being able to just check its work as well, I saw the efficiency and how fast it was able to go ahead and do that I wanted more of that. So that moment I was hooked and I realized like the capabilities of what that programming could do. So that I started to assess whether or not I was going to go back to college, get my master's or another 4 year degree, or just take a more focused route through coding bootcamp because I have heard of coding bootcamps. So eventually I chose the bootcamp because I wanted something more immersive, practical, faster pace, and it just felt like the right way to go ahead and figure out like my tech passion through coding bootcamp. So that's how I segue into that.
Great, great. So you walk through once you set your mind on, okay, I'm gonna do a coding boot camp instead of going back to college or doing some other educational program. Did you research a number of coding boot camps, or did you have your heart set on Flatiron School? Walk through that specific coding boot camp research process.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I can't like I love to I maybe it's the financial analyst me making sure that I assess all my risk. But conducted an extensive research that contained like traditional colleges, online colleges, my local colleges, several other different boot camps. So I met up with a lot of people. I want to make sure that I was making the right investment both in time and money. So, but after meeting with a lot of people, I knew that for the time constraint, I knew I didn't want to go back for a 4 year because I was going to take another 4 years itself, nor to go and get a master's. I didn't see the benefits of it. So when I narrowed it down to doing some boot camps, and I wanted to make sure that boot camps. I wanted to make sure some of the factors that were important to me when I was like narrowing down the boot camps itself was like the price and location because when I did the boot camp, I'm out here in Los Angeles and I didn't want to drive anywhere too far. You know how LA traffic can be. So I didn't want to get involved with that. So I wanted to pay attention to the location, and fortunately in the area that I was in LA, they allow you to do it remotely. I know that there are some areas where Flatiron allows you to do it in person, but fortunately for me, it was done remotely, and I love that. So it was easy for me to like get up and be able to attend classes easily. Another thing is I wanted to pay attention to boot camps that were teaching modern. Well, I guess you wouldn't say modern, but I wanted boot camps that taught programming languages that enterprises were using, and it wasn't something completely different or never been heard of. So I definitely wanted to make sure that I can be able to use those skills or the programming languages that they taught in the boot camps. So I wanted to pay attention to that. And another main factors that sealed it for me while I was meeting with boot camps and conducting my research is I did a lot of LinkedIn stalking. I don't know if anybody else did that, but I saw a lot while I was doing like LinkedIn stalking. I saw a lot of like bootcamp students under the Flatiron School that actually like made ways into places that I wanted to get into. So that's why I had that's why like Flatiron was like my top number one choice because of that as well.
That's incredible. Love the using the financial analyst kind of background or just the desire to do extensive research
Mhm.
to really apply it to this important decision you were making, especially for, it's going to set the course for the next few years for you. So with all of that analysis and doing the, positive LinkedIn stalking and,
Yes.
narrowing down to Flatiron School, and the remote aspect was a big pull for you. All right, so you decide to do Flatiron School. You were a student. What did a typical week look like for you as a student? How was boot camp different from your undergrad learning experience?
Yeah, so a typical week for me as a student at Flatiron is in the early beginning of the weeks, we'll typically start out with like lectures. So we'll be learning like a programming concept that day, whether it's like, say, for instance, early on in the boot camp, you learn HTML and CSS. So we'll get like we'll go ahead and attend lecture. I believe it was like 2, 3, or 4 hours. So it's been a while. So I'm trying to like recollect from my memory there. But typically we'll do like some lectures early in the beginning of the week. Mid of week, we'll go ahead and apply what we learned by actually making projects, whether that's personal projects or team projects. And then we end the week with by doing a coding test. And it was a coding assessment, making sure that you knew how to go ahead and add a button or go ahead and iterate through like a JSON object or items like that, being able to test you on what you learned that week before we can move on to the next section. So it was a lot of rinse and repeat for that, from lecture to project to the coding test. So, and the boot camp was completely different from my undergrad. My undergrad, because yeah, I went to undergrad in UW Eau Claire. So it's different because I felt like everything was faster paced. I lived and breathed code from morning when I wake up. It was living and breathing code until I fell asleep for the full 15 weeks because I did it full time. But it was really intense, but the immersion really taught me to learn faster. It taught me not to be afraid to ask questions. So it was busy, but worth it.
So during the boot camp program, what was your favorite project that you built while at Flatiron School?
Yeah, my favorite project that I built at Flatiron School was called Tiny Task. It was actually a group project with two other girls in the class. And I love that, being able to work on that team collaboration, seeing our ideas come to life, and also being able to divide up the task into each person's strength or what each other person's interests and curiosities were. So that was fun to go ahead and work with that. And not only just that, but we had to go ahead and learn like version control together on that. So that was fun. A lot of merge conflicts, but that was, eventually was going to happen. So they do that in the real world as well with version control. So that was a good learning experience to do that. So yeah, that was one of my favorite projects. Being able to create the UI for it and seeing it come to life and being able to present on it and being able to talk about the code and what we did onto the website. So that was fun.
That's great to hear. What's so powerful about the boot camp experience is simulating those real world interactions and those
Oh
opportunities.
yes.
Merge conflicts is much better to experience for the first time and learn how to work through those in an
Oh yeah.
educational environment versus, day one, week one of a job and you have no experience. So really working and learning in a real world context is so critical in boot camps that will set you up for when you graduate. So that's where we'll go next. You finish Flatiron School, and then the next thing is to search for that new career. How did Flatiron School prepare you for the tech job hunt?
Yeah, so the way Flatiron prepared me for the tech job hunt is that, throughout the program, you're constantly building projects that, like mirror real world problems or things that you're interested in and that you want to go ahead and making changes to. So I came out with projects that I was able to go ahead and showcase to employers, being like, hey, I learned this, and this is like my actual product of it. And you can go ahead and play around with it and be able to see like authorization, authentication, or any of that you wanted to go ahead and see, or even setting up a database and linking that to your client. So I was able to go have those real world life projects, being able to do that. With Flatiron, they did offer like career services as well. So you did have like a career coach where you could practice like mock interviews, go through your resume, and talk about how to beef up your resume a little bit better, and then even strategies on how to network. So I remember my career coach, we met up at least I think once every week. So to go ahead and discuss like strategies and just how things are going, what's happening, what's good, what can be improved. So I love that about Flatiron School as well with the career assistance like that.
That's wonderful to hear that you had that assistance, especially at such a important time of you made
Yes.
this leap into a new industry and you're learning and had this immersive experience, and now you're thrust back into the real world of
Hmm.
finding a new career. So to have that support system is very helpful. So how long did it take you, from graduating Flatiron School to getting your first job?
Yeah, it was definitely a journey. It took me about like a year because so after graduating, I knew it wasn't going to be instant. So I did treat it like a full time job itself of being able to go ahead and start looking for a job. So the networking, refining my projects, or even adding on new projects, and being able to apply consistently for jobs that I knew that I was suitable for. So it definitely took me over a year, but I was able to go ahead and land my first role at Honolulu. So yeah, it definitely showed me a lot of grit, being able to be resilient and be able to go ahead and talk about my skills with confidence. So yeah, that's how my job search went.
Well, congrats on persevering
Thank
and
you.
showing that resiliency to make it through that. Especially just in the last few years, it's for entry level junior, engineers and just people trying to break into the tech industry. It has been more difficult than prior years, but the skills that you develop and harden through that period can be fruitful after you make it through there. So that's where I'm curious to go next is, okay, you made it through that post boot camp experience to landing your first job. It's been a couple years. Can you describe your career journey since landing that job? How have you grown as an engineer on the job, and just, walk us through that journey?
With my career journey, how have I grown as an engineer on the job? A lot. And let's see, I was like, there's so many different aspects of it. I feel like I've grown personally, technically, and professionally. Like a lot of different areas about me have grown a lot about that. Because technically, I've expanded beyond the basics of what Flatiron taught, the fundamentals that were taught at Flatiron, to build more complex features, understanding system designs, being able to dig more into algorithms. Let's talk about breadth first search, depth first search graphs. Like I never thought I would actually get into it and be able to work on it, but we are here. So also professionally, I've learned a lot more about how like teams like to work with sprints, collaborating across different team members, not only just within your software development team, but talk about your marketing team, or even the other users who are outside of the company as well, being able to understand how to communicate to them and understanding their needs and wants as well. So I felt like I've grown a lot through all of that as well. Now that I've touched from like full stack from front end to back end, and now I'm starting to understand like what areas I want to dig deeper into and get to know and be more familiar with. So yeah, that's how I've grown with my career journey along the way.
That's great to hear. You just alluded to the learning journey you've been on, and now you're understanding what's next potentially for different technologies and what you want to pursue learning. I've seen your LinkedIn, even your Medium blog where you document what you're learning and you have these video demos, and it's really fascinating to walk through. I think your LinkedIn mentioned you have been working or you have worked on some AI projects. How are you staying ahead of the curve? What are you trying to learn?
Yeah, so the hot topic is AI, MCPs, and one way I'm trying to stay ahead of the curve or even ride along with the curve is surrounding myself with others who are also exploring AI. What have they done with it? What do they plan to do with it? Or any new discoveries that they have found? So I'm definitely like following leaders that I feel like are using AI. I'm also joining in on online forums, watching YouTube a lot. One YouTube that I like to listen to is called AI Engineer, where you get to listen to how other companies are using AI to help them progress forward. So it's been interesting. So it helps me like spot trend early and also see how people are practically applying AI into their workforce. I like to go ahead and make sure that I stay up to date, and if anything sounds interesting or intriguing, I'm like, okay, maybe I should apply that into my life and start making little side projects on the side as well.
I think that's a great way to approach it, and it seems like it's been successful for you so far. And just seeing yourself probably 6 months ago, a year ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, and where you were and where you are now. So, how do you envision your career progressing in the next coming years? You've made so much progress in the last few years. So project forward. How do you see your career progressing, particularly in the light of these emerging technologies, AI, machine learning, all these new things coming on the frontier? How do you see your career progressing? How do you see AI or other technologies changing your role as a software engineer?
Yeah, so with my career progression, I definitely see myself not just writing code, but I want to be able to understand problems, to understand the problems a little bit. I guess more as I take on as I take on more leadership roles, I definitely want to be able to understand problems that are have vague scope. Being able to understand how can I would understand what is this scope trying to get out of me, or what is it trying to resolve that I can go ahead and get a solution for. Not only just that, but I definitely want to get into system design, making sure that I understand how and why certain things are designed to make it more efficient and make the system more efficient and just cost less. And with I think AI will definitely reshape our roles for sure. I don't think it will erase them. I am on the side of that AI will definitely make us better and faster engineers. Not only will they take over some of the parts that we don't want to go ahead and do anymore, we can focus more on like the other architecture part and so being able to solve more problems. So I definitely foresee AI helping us and improving us along the way.
Yeah, I agree with it being an assistant, a collaborator, but not eliminating full roles, and hopefully enabling software engineers to do more, to be more creative, to solve more problems, to help with that scoping, as you mentioned, and improve our efficiency, but also our effectiveness. So agreed there. As we've talked about here in this conversation, you've grown so much, you've learned so much since deciding, hey, I want to jump into this new industry. What should I do? How should I learn? Where should I learn? Thinking back on your learning and career journey since deciding to go to Flatiron School, say someone came up to you, say someone looked at your LinkedIn and saw Flatiron School on your profile and sent you a message, what advice would you give to someone just starting Flatiron School?
So the advice that I would give out to someone starting out at Flatiron School, because this is something, because I just sit with this question for a little bit, but I thought about myself when I was starting out at Flatiron School, what I wish others would have gave to me, and my advice to others is one, ask a lot of questions. They know that you don't know anything, or they know that you know very minimal, and they're probably expecting you to ask questions. So don't be shy. Ask a lot of questions. If something doesn't not make sense, I would definitely reach out to your instructor right away, or even just set up a one, because with Flatiron School they allow you to set up one-on-one time with tutors. So definitely do that and don't get stuck. Just definitely reach out and ask others for help. And also another thing is to make projects. When it's time to go ahead and make projects on items that interest you or that you're dying to see, that to have a change. Like if Netflix doesn't have a button for reverse or something, make a button for reverse or something like that. So be able to make the changes that you want to see in your projects, and definitely have fun. And also your community, your classroom that you are in, or even just a Flatiron community, because I reach out to other alumni as well. Definitely reach out to them. They are your friends. They know what you're going through and they know what you're going to endure. So definitely reach out to them and ask for help, advice, and tips from others as well.
That's great. Great advice for someone considering Flatiron School. So, final question, looking back on your, last few years post Flatiron, thinking about all of the factors you considered when, searching for your next educational opportunities and deciding on boot camps and selecting Flatiron. Was Flatiron School worth it for you? Personal career fulfillment, time, financial investment. Was Flatiron School worth it for you?
For me, I would have to say yes. Yes to all of the above. The ROI, the personal career fulfillment. Looking back, I don't think I would have done anything differently. I would still pursue, or I think I still would have found a way into tech somehow as a software engineer. So, but looking back, it was definitely worth it because Flatiron School gave me structure, accountability to go ahead and show up every day, friendships from the cohort, and as I mentioned, the Flatiron alumni that I was able to reach out to, and most of them were really, well, I should say all of them were really, really nice. So you don't lose anything about that, and a strong foundation and fundamentals for the coding that you carry on with you. So yeah, I would definitely have to say it was worth it.
That's so, so great to hear. Mai, thank you so much for your time today and sharing your insightful story and your journey. Good luck to you moving forward. And I'm sure you will do incredible things. And just good luck as you make more learning progress, more professional progress. So thank you for your time. To find out more about Flatiron School, you can read Flatiron School reviews on Course Report. This article was produced by the Course Report team in partnership with Flatiron School.